everyone, welcome back to my class. This is Rumana Ali. I hope you all are doing well. In today's class, I'm going to start a lesson, the world of microorganisms part 2. In the previous class, we have discussed about the world of microorganisms part 1, and in that lesson, we have discussed that the microorganisms are the organisms that are very minute in size and they can be seen under the microscope only. That such type of microorganisms which are very minute that cannot be seen through our naked eye, they are called as microorganisms. And there are variety of microorganisms that are found in our nature, in our environment, and some of the microorganisms that we have studied in our last class were bacteria, fungi, protozoa, microarthropods and many more. So in today's class, I am going to explain you how the microorganisms can be termed as the friends and the foes of a human being. Means the microorganisms are useful for the human beings and they are also harmful for the human beings. So in today's class, we will see what are the beneficial uses of microorganisms for the humans and also the harmful effects of the microorganisms in the human beings. So first we will discuss about the useful microorganisms. There are many microorganisms that are useful in many of the daily activities and also for the commercial usage and also in the medicinal field. They contribute in the medicinal as well as in the commercial field. So let us see how they are useful in our daily life. Let us see one activity. Let's take two bowls and in both of these bowls take some warm milk. The first one, let it represent it as A and the second one is B. In the bowl A where we have taken the warm milk, add 1 spoon of curd, and in the bowl B we are not adding anything. By adding the curd after some time, when we keep these both bowls aside for some time, then after some time we can clearly observe that the bowl A shows curdling. The amount of the milk that is present in the bowl A is turned into curd and the bowl B shows the milk that remains same. Here the curdling does not take place, but here in the A curdling takes place. So what is the reason? In the A we have added a spoon of curd. So what is there in the curd? What makes the milk to get converted into the curd? So in that spoon of curd there are some bacteria present. So when we have added that curd into the milk, then they multiply. The bacteria multiply and because of the multiplication of the bacteria, the milk, the whole milk or the warm milk turns into the curd and hence curdling takes place in the bowl A. By this we can understand how the microorganisms are useful in certain processes. Let us see one more activity by which we can clearly understand how they are useful in our daily life activities. So when you see the bread, it is very spongy and fluffy. Some of the bakery items, they are very spongy and fluffy. From where they get that sponginess? So let us see one activity to understand from where they get the sponginess. In this activity also we will take two bowls, A and B. The basic materials that the bakers require to make their items or to make the bread is maida and water. These are the basic things that required by the bakers to make the bread. In both the bowls, we will take maida and water and the paste that results by mixing the water with the maida, it is called as dough. So let's take dough in both A and in the bowl B. After taking or after making the dough, add 2 to 3 spoons of yeast. Yeast is nothing but a fungi. It's a microorganism. So we can get the yeast from the market. So when we add 2 to 3 spoon of yeast in the bowl A, so after adding 2 to 3 spoons of yeast in the bowl A, both the bowls should be kept aside for some time. In the bowl B, we are not adding anything. But in the bowl A, we have taken or we have added the yeast, which is a microorganism. After some time, we can observe that the dough which is present in the bowl A, it rises up. So why it happens? It is because of the action of yeast. When yeast is mixed in the dough, then that traps the carbon dioxide bubbles. And after trapping the carbon dioxide bubbles, it started rising up. So in this way, the dough rises up and it makes the materials soft, spongy and fluffy. Whereas in the bowl B, there is no rising up of the dough. The dough doesn't rises up because of the absence of yeast here. Here we have not taken the yeast. So by this we can clearly understand the action of the microorganism called yeast. So in this way, the yeast is a very useful microorganism that helps in making the bakery items and also in the preparation of some alcoholic beverages. So by this we can understand how the microorganisms are useful in our day-to-day life activities. Okay, let us discuss about the commercial use of microorganism. To understand how the microorganisms are used commercially, let us do one activity, and in this activity we are going to take 2 beakers, or we can take 2 bowls also. In both the beakers, prepare a sugar solution. So we all know how to prepare the sugar solution. Take 100 ml of water in both the beakers and add 1 spoon full of sugar. Stir it well, then it will become a sugar solution. In one of the beaker, add 1 or the 2 spoons of yeast, and in the beaker B we are not going to add anything. So after some time we can observe that the smell, that the beaker A in which we have poured or we have taken the yeast, it shows the different smell. We get the different smell from the sugar solution which is present in the beaker A because we have added yeast in it. So that smell is similar to that of the alcohol. So in such a way, the yeast feeds on the sugar and it converts that sugar into the alcohol. So whenever the sugar is converted into alcohol because of the action of the microorganisms like yeast, this process is called as fermentation, and by this fermentation many alcoholic beverages can be produced. So this is called as fermentation. Likewise, many other sources can also be taken in order to grow the yeast, on which the yeast fed and it converts that source into some other substances that are commercially useful for the human beings. And that sources includes molasses, malt of barley, wheat, fruit pulp, crushed grapes. So these are the sources of sugar on which the yeast fed and it converted into the alcohols. So whenever the sugar is converted into alcohol in the presence of some microorganisms, then that process is called as fermentation, and fermentation is a process by which many alcoholic beverages and the other materials can be produced which are commercially useful. Let us discuss about the medicinal use of microorganisms. So whenever we see the usage of microorganisms in the medicinal field, then one word comes in our mind, and that is antibiotics. So whenever we fall ill or we get a wound, or if we suffer from fever and the other diseases, then doctor will prescribe us to take antibiotics. Antibiotics are the medicines that are derived from the microorganism. So as they are derived from the microorganism, so we can say that the microorganisms contribute in the medicinal field as well. So to cure the bacterial infection or to cure the other infections, the doctors will give us or they prescribe us to take antibiotics, and these antibiotics are made up of or they are derived from the microorganisms only. So these antibiotics are able to neutralizes the action of the bacteria that enters in our body. By neutralizing or by deactivating the action of the other microorganisms, the antibiotics helps us to cure the disease or to control the infection that occurs or that takes place in the human body. So in this way, the antibiotics are very useful to cure the diseases and also to cure the wounds or other bacterial infections. Okay. The next thing is the antibiotics. If we take excess amount of the antibiotics, then it shows the negative effect on our body. Extensive use of the antibiotics can kill our useful microorganisms that are present in our intestine, and that leads to the other problems. So over usage of the antibiotics makes the bacteria that is present in our body resistant. So if we take more amount of the antibiotics, it would not lead to any effect on the other organisms or the foreign particles that has been entered in our body. So there will be no effect shown by the antibiotics. The microorganisms becomes resistant to it, and it doesn't show any effect when we take antibiotics also. So the usage of the antibiotics should be taken by the prescription of the doctor. The dosage of the antibiotic should be prescribed by the doctor. That should be taken. We cannot take the antibiotics as per our will. So this is about the antibiotics, which are the medicines that are derived from the microorganisms only. And some of the antibiotics are penicillin, tetracycline, oromycin, streptomycin, and many other antibiotics are present that helps us to treat many of the diseases and also helps to control or to deactivate the bacterial action in the body. So in the year 1929, Alexander Fleming, Howard and Ernst, they announced the discovery of penicillin. They named the drug as penicillin because the mold which is grown in this agar plate, it is Penicillium notatum. So they have given the name to the drug as penicillin based on the name of the fungi, and in 1945 they got the Nobel Prize for this contribution. After the discovery of the penicillin, many people were cured by injecting this drug into their body, and after the discovery of this penicillin, many other drugs were also discovered, and one of the person who belonged to Andhra Pradesh, and his name was Mr. Yellapragada Subbarao. He discovered oromycin, which is a tetracycline drug. This oromycin can be used to treat the different diseases like typhoid, plague, tuberculosis, and many other diseases also. So this person, Mr. Yellapragada Subbarao, who belonged to the Andhra Pradesh, he discovered oromycin, and this drug has been used to cure the different types of diseases. Or in this way, the penicillin is a wonder drug which was discovered by a scientist named Alexander Fleming along with the help of other persons like Howard and Ernst. तो अभी हम बात करेंगे स्टोरी ऑफ डिस्कवरी ऑफ पेनिसिलिन. पेनिसिलिन एक ऐसा फंगी है जो एक एंटीबायोटिक की तरह काम करता है. इसको वंडर ड्रग बोल सकते हैं हम, क्योंकि ये बहुत सारे इन्फेक्शंस को क्योर करने के लिए हेल्प करता है. यहाँ पर इसको डिस्कवर करने वाले साइंटिस्ट का नाम है अलेक्जेंडर फ्लेमिंग. अलेक्जेंडर फ्लेमिंग एक माइक्रोबायोलॉजिस्ट भी है और एक आर्मी डॉक्टर भी है. तो फर्स्ट वर्ल्ड वार के बाद में जब पर्सन्स इंजर्ड हो गए थे, वाउंड इन्फेक्शन हो रहा था उनकी बॉडी में, जिसकी वजह से कई सारे डेथ्स होने लगी थी. इस डेथ्स को कंट्रोल करने के लिए अलेक्जेंडर फ्लेमिंग ने कई तरह के ऑर्गेनिजम्स ग्रो किए थे इनकी लेबोरेटरी में, और फिर एक ऑब्जर्वेशन में उन्होंने देखा है कि माउल्ड एक ऐसा फंगी है जो भी बैक्टीरिया ग्रो हो रहा था पेट्री डिश में उसको किल कर रहा था. तो इस तरीके से माउल्ड का एक ऐसा सब्सटेंस एक्सट्रैक्ट किया गया. माउल्ड में जो भी सब्सटेंस प्रेजेंट होता है उसको एक्सट्रैक्ट किया गया और वो सब्सटेंस पर्सन्स की बॉडी में इंजेक्ट किया गया ताकि बैक्टीरियल इन्फेक्शन को कंट्रोल किया जा सके. सो इन दिस वे द डिस्कवरी ऑफ पेनिसिलिन वाज टेकन प्लेस बाय द साइंटिस्ट अलेक्जेंडर फ्लेमिंग. और इन 1945 में अलेक्जेंडर फ्लेमिंग को नोबेल प्राइज भी मिला था इस कंट्रीब्यूशन के लिए. और भी कई तरह के ड्रग्स डिस्कवर हुए हैं, जैसे कि है स्ट्रेप्टोमाइसिन, टेट्रासाइक्लिन और ओरोमाइसिन. ये सारे ड्रग्स भी डिस्कवर किए गए हैं जो कई तरह के डिजीजेस को क्योर करने के लिए हेल्प करते हैं. थैंक यू.